In this section, I'm going to talk about the overall basic function of storytelling, and in the next lecture, we'll get into the actual options within the storytelling designer window. An additional thought on this particular model that I'm using is a clone of the model from the last lecture with all of the images replaced with references to my Cloudinary library so that none of them will be broken in the future. Now, to do storytelling, you go to Share and select Storytelling, and that opens the Story Designer window. To actually tell Insight Maker that you want to do storytelling, you click on Enable, and that's enough to tell it that you're going to do storytelling. So if you clicked here to say apply this to the model, you notice that down here you now see a view story option and an edit story. View story presently doesn't do anything, and edit story is a quick way of getting back to the story rather than going up here. So if someone sends you a model and it says view story, edit story down here in the lower left hand corner, you know that there's a story set up for this model. There's no guarantee as to how extensive that story is, because if you view story for this model, it essentially does nothing. But so if you start it, you can start over and then you can tell it that you want to exit. So let's go back into the Story Designer. Additionally, once you tell it you want to do storytelling, you then have to decide when, if ever, storytelling automatically starts when the model opens and for whom, so that you, depending again upon the audience that you are setting the model up for, you may want the story to start automatically all the time, only for not editors, for editors, or never, so that it would be manual if someone, whether they were an editor or a non-editor, when they come to the model, they would always have to manually start storytelling. Otherwise, the always option says you always start storytelling when the model opens, regardless of whether it's an editor or a non-editor. When I do storytelling, I typically set it for always. When I open them to a model that I've already created that has storytelling and I want to edit it, I just have to click to exit down there. Then there are steps that you can add, which we'll talk about in the next video. But this is the basic function, and be it known that when you're in storytelling mode, if you start the story, none of the changes that you make in the model will be saved. Storytelling doesn't make any permanent changes to the model. It only makes changes for the duration of the story, and when the story stops, everything goes back to the way it was. So if you come into one of your own models and you've set it up so it does storytelling all the time, that's why you notice that there was an option up here that says edits to the model will not be saved while you are viewing the story. And if you open a model, let me refresh this model. When you open the model, that message comes up. It took me a while to get over hurting myself to come into one of my own models and have it be in storytelling mode, and I'll go ahead and make a dozen changes to the model, and then I'll realize that I'm still in storytelling mode, which means as soon as I exit storytelling mode, all of the changes go away and they're lost, and I just wasted a half hour. After I wasted it a few half hours, I sort of learned to always check to make sure that I'm not in storytelling mode before I start making changes to the model. Be advised, unless you just enjoy wasting time. I don't. So that's and once you're in storytelling mode, all you have to do to get out of it is just hit the exit and you're out. Now you can make changes to the model. This is the easiest way to get back into it. And in the next video, we'll talk about all of the various and sundry options for storytelling that you can use to build the story, to have it unfold the model. So hope this was a meaningful introduction, and I'll see you in the next video shortly. Bye.